I wonder how many of you are aware of how many Sharia law courts are operating in the UK, across the entire UK. Those who don't know really need to go and research what they actually do, because they will claim that they only deal with things like matrimony and divorce proceedings. It runs a lot deeper, and there are a lot of Muslim women out there suffering because of Sharia law. And if we sit idly back and just ignore it and pretend it's not there, then that makes us equally complicit in allowing domestic violence, allowing domestic rape, because these things are not being addressed. These women don't, a lot of them don't even realise they can use the British legal system. If they don't know they can use it, why would they go and attempt to use it? Therefore, they stick with Sharia law, and that in turn leaves them still being valued less than half the value of a man. Now, I don't know about you, but that kind of grates on me somewhat. So with that, I'm really pleased. As you can see, big smile. I'm really, really pleased to see that Baroness Cox launched her parliamentary bill to address these Sharia law courts in the UK. Now, my understanding of it all is that, and obviously I'm not a politician, so I don't understand how everything works, but you have the first reading and then it goes on to the next stage, the next stage, the next stage. I am going to add a website which is called Equal and Free. Underneath the video, I'm going to put the link there for anybody who's on Facebook. Those who are on YouTube, go find me on Facebook. Just look up Tony Bugle or look up Marius, and you'll find the links underneath. So I'm going to attach that so people can have a look, and there's actually a part on it where you can actually follow the parliamentary bill, so you can actually see what's going on with it. Now, this is really good, because I think that actually the general public need to know there are people inside the House of Lords that are trying to tackle these issues. I think that's really important, and I think what's really important is that she's given us an opportunity to have an insight into see who's saying what, who's addressing what, who's for, who's against, and how far along is it. I think that's a fantastic thing, and I'm sitting with my little fingers and my little toes and my little legs, and everything is crossed for luck. I've got the greatest admiration for this woman, more than you can imagine, and I've read some things about her. My God, she's one feisty woman, and I don't think I want to cross her too much myself. On to, again, I've opened up several links today, again, more Muslim rapists. Now, I know that people will go, the same as I get all the time, so why do you have to keep saying they're Muslim? Well, because they are. Dress it up any way you like. Let's not argue over it. The fact is, these men happen to be Muslim men. And I wanted to give people, because I know there are a lot of people now on my page that are American, Australian, Canadian. So what I wanted to give you was a little insight. So I made a little list. Me and my little list. This is my little list. These are the places that I could distinguish so far. I know that the list is longer, but I'm going to reel off a list of the places in the UK where grooming gangs of Muslim men have operated, and I will add at the end of it a little statistical fact. So here we go, in no particular order. Keighley, Blackpool, Oldham, Blackburn, Sheffield, Manchester, Skipton, Rochdale, Nelson, Preston, Rotherham, Derby, Telford, Bradford, Ipswich, Birmingham, Oxford, Barking, Peterborough, Aylesbury, Stevenage. And that's without me even adding Telsley in there. Well, let's not forget that that's also one of them. Now, of the 306 offenders whose ethnicity was actually noted, i.e. they were asked what ethnicity they were, 75% were labelled as Asian. That is a statistical fact. I haven't drawn that up off the top of my head. It's a fact. These men, when you look and you see the crime, often you see the name Ahmed, Mohammed, Ishmael, Abraham. All of these names are Islamic names. And I spoke to my friend today, who is a Pakistani lady, a Muslim lady, who I again have the utmost respect for. And we had a really lovely conversation. And I said to her, I said, do you find it offensive that I call these men Muslim for the crimes they've committed? And she went, no, they are Muslim. Why are we skirting around the fact that they're Muslim? When Catholic priests were raping little boys, everybody went Catholic priests. And the only difference is that, as I said to her, 1400 years ago, when they believed when they were in a state of jihad, they could take what the right hand possessed, which was sex slavery. Therefore, it was justified. It was acceptable. Now, maybe 1400 years, and you go back through our history, we did things that were totally unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. But we did them. Now, you have to own that thing, that we did do that. You know, pretending that we didn't. But the difference is, these people believe they are at war with us. They believe they are in a state of jihad. Therefore, they, as far as they are concerned, have every right to sex slaves. And that is exactly what they think we are. And as she said herself, they really do think that white girls are easy meat. That's exactly what they think we are. Now, there was a couple of things that people perhaps might, especially people that are new to our page, that are only just starting to get to know me a little bit. The J Report, the Bullfinch Report, and the Easy Meat Report. Go find them. Go find them and read them. Read and see what these men think of especially white Western women. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say, let me turn my phone off because that will go off all night. I'm not going to sit here and say to you that there aren't white rapists. Of course they're white rapists. Nobody's sitting here going, oh, you don't get any white rapists. Of course we get white rapists. Nobody can ever deny that. But they're not targeting a specific race. They're targeting children because they're nonces. They're targeting women because they're rapists. These men are targeting girls and trafficking women and girls who are white. And they are doing it because they are white. Now, you then have to swing the pendulum and take a look at the immigration we have coming into this country. By our own Prime Minister's words, he has no idea how many of them are jihadists. No idea at all. Well done. Round of applause for David Cameron, who actually, it turns out now, has absolutely no power whatsoever to get us out of the EU. That'll be that referendum you promised that you know you can't deliver, will it, David? Because we all know you're not a man of your word. You can't keep your word. You're a liar. How do we know this? Well, where shall we start? Did he not make a statement where he said he would not be touching tax credits? Now it turns out, well, of course we have to slash tax credits. So you lied. On TV, you lied. You were born a liar. You are a liar. It's all you know. Now, I read a thing I don't know if anybody's ever heard of a thing called the Bullingdon Club. These are for your rich elite boys. These are the men that go into power and become powerful politicians and rule this country and dictate to us. Because that, make no bones about it, is what we live in right now. We live in a dictatorship. We are dictated to in every way, shape and form. Now, there was one of the things, I don't know whether he did it, I don't really care whether he did it or whether some other rich elite Ponce boy did it. I don't care. Fact is, it was done. One of the things in the initiation ceremony was to go into a town with a high density of homeless people. You're going to love this. So you had to go into this area where there was a real high density of homeless people, find a homeless person, and set light to a £50 note in front of them. That's the kind of people we've got leading our country, is it? We're going to have those kind of people leading our country. Again, I asked in my last video, and I'm going to ask again, are we feeling culturally enriched yet? They don't seem to think we're culturally enriched enough. We need a little more cultural enrichment. And how will we get that cultural enrichment? Oh, I know. We'll have an open border policy. And we'll let every piece of crap enter into this country, no identity, no evidence. And this was something I said to somebody. I was having a conversation with them, and they were all for having refugees. Now, I'm all for helping refugees. Absolutely, I am. 100%. And there was two things that this person brought up. This was on Twitter. The first thing he brought up was the baby on the beach, which, quite frankly, as I've said, I repeatedly say, nobody wants to see a baby dead on the beach. Nobody. And I have asked people this before. Everybody knows the name of that baby. Everybody. Can anybody tell me the name of the baby that belonged to the couple who were homeless on the streets, whose baby died? Does anybody know that baby's name? I don't think they do. I don't think they do. And nor do I think there are a lot who don't care what his name was. Because he didn't make headline news, did he? He wasn't splattered across our newspaper as Britain's shame. No. The shame belongs with the person who put that child in danger in the first place, and that sure as hell was no British citizen. Although I will highlight, because I do like to just get my little bit in there, you know, I'm not British, I'm English. I just happen to be part of the British United Kingdom. But I'm an English girl, all the way through. Now, another thing that I want to say, and this is on a good note, a really good note, it's well done Metro buses. Somebody sent me a picture, beautiful, white bus, double-decker, poppies all over it. And I thought, fair play, absolutely fair play. Now, what you also have to remember is everybody goes, oh, this will offend the Muslims. I don't think it's the Muslims that are complaining about the poppies. I really don't. I think you're left to complain about the poppies. Some guy said to me today that the poppies are opium poppies and they represent opium. No, they're not opium poppies. Opium poppies are great big ones with a great big head on them with a big bulbous bit at the bottom, which when you cut the opium runs out. Those poppies represent our fallen, because in fields where people had died, where soldiers had died, the one thing that flourished was the red poppy. And I'll be damned if I'm not prepared to wear mine. I have one on my coat, I have one on several of my cardigans, I even have one on the front of my car that's about that big, and then I have one inside my car that sits wrapped around my mirror. And I am very proud to wear my poppy. And for anybody who doesn't know about this, there is also a thing going on in London on Wednesday, which I only knew about. I only found out about it last night. And this, I believe, it's been organised by the Marines. That's my understanding of it, if I've understood correctly. And I believe that they're hopeful between 800 and 1,000. It's not just the Marines, that members of the public can go, but it's going to be organised in a very peaceful, quiet. It's not a demonstration, it's not a rally, but this is to show their solidarity and support for for Al Blackman, Marine 8. I might even trot along myself, I haven't decided yet, but it's a possibility, because I actually think that what was done to that man was an absolute crime in itself. I really do. You banged him up for what, 20, 30 years, yet you let a man who raped an 11-year-old child walk away and walk away with freedom because his wife couldn't speak English. Sound pretty fair to you? Because it sure as hell does not sound fair to me. So anybody who didn't know that was happening, don't turn up looking like, I'm sorry, but I'm going to say this, don't turn up looking like bags of rubbish. Don't turn up looking like crap. Smarten yourself up. Represent your country in a good way, in a positive way. Let's not keep looking like rabble, because we're better than that. So let's show them we are better than that and give the respect that is due. The other thing that I saw today was, let me just bring it up here, is this Islamic thing. Islamic group blocked from building Britain's biggest mosque in London, which was going to be 290,000 square foot. What? And after 16 years, finally, they're not getting it. You're damn right you shouldn't be getting it. No faith of any kind should supersede the faith of the country where you reside, and it happens to be, in this case, Christianity. And I'm no Christian, but I live in a Christian country, so I will support that. Now on to, there's a friend of mine, I know I won't use his real name, I'll use his nickname, Bish. He's going through a rough time at the moment, so I want him to know that he's in my thoughts, and, you know, if you need a friend, you know where I am. Including my other friend, who's had a bit of a rough time of it. They both know who they are. They know where I am if they need me. And lastly to William, who has managed to keep me smiling this week, which is no mean feat in itself. I refuse to smile, but he has managed to make me smile, and I thank him for that. So I'm not going to keep you any longer, but I do want you to ask yourself, go and look at those areas and ask yourself, if this was your country, and this is only a small island, England is a small island, and we are, whether we like it or not, being invaded at a vast rate of knots. More uproar in the Tunnel of Calais. Cameron, pull your finger out and grow a backbone. Pull us out the EU for a start. Pay them their one-off payment and pull us out. We are a free country and we are free-born people, and we have the right to self-govern. And that includes no law other than one law for all in this country, and that is UK law. Not Sharia law, not even Jewish courts. There should be no other court system. British law, English law for the British and the English people, and the same for anybody, whether you be a passing guest or whether you be somebody who's took up residence. There should be no special preferential treatment for anybody. So, on that note, to Bish, you know where I am. To the other two, who I won't name, but you know where I am. To William, you cheeky wee bugger. I will speak to you all again soon. I'm going to put those links underneath here as it's uploading. Please take time to actually read it. And actually, if you care about any of these issues, follow the parliamentary bill. Let's see whether it makes a real difference. For now, everybody take care. I'll speak to you again soon. Bye.